How does one deal with a parent who speaks disrespectfully? Great question. Well, the best thing is don't speak disrespectfully back, right? And this is very hard to say, and it's very hard to do. But a lot of times what happens is the second somebody does something to us, we go right into their dance and we do it back. And we don't realize we're doing it. And maybe the disrespect is going to come in a different way. We're not saying bad words, but maybe we're, being disrespectful in other ways. I'm not going to start giving you ideas of how to be disrespectful as a parent. I think we spoke about this last time, about the mirrors. Did I tell you about this? I don't know if I did, so I will right now. You walk into the house, you find the mirror, you look at it, you realize that your shirt has a spot. And you're like, oh man, I can't believe it. So you go and you clean the mirror and you spray the mirror and you rub the mirror and you're cleaning and rubbing and spraying and doing and bleaching and nothing is working. Guess why? Does this sound ridiculous? Because the mirror is not the problem. Okay, so let's bring it back to our life. We do this all the time. We see someone outside of us. Of course, as a marriage coach, I speak about the husband all the time. We see something in our husbands, we don't like it, it's annoying, it's frustrating, they're selfish, they're not listening, they're an angry person, they're so awkward, they're so, don't get it, whatever. We think all these things about them, right? And we are trying to fix them, trying to help them, trying to guide them, trying to get them help, trying to work through blah, 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 all the stuff. And in reality, what's happening is that nothing's being cleaned, nothing's being changed. We look at the mirror, we're so frustrated. I've tried so many things. I paid so much money. I went to so many things and I've put my, so much effort into it and nothing. All my energy is gone. And it's the same as trying to clean the mirror, right? It doesn't matter how much you scrub and bleach. It's not where the problem is. Go back to yourself. And this is very hard because all of us are going to be like, resistance, no way, protection, you can't tell me nothing is wrong with me, right? So it takes a lot of honesty and a lot of putting down those protection layers and being like, okay. And you don't have to do this in front of that person, right? You don't have to go and tell them, hey, I've decided to stop trying to change you and, focus on myself. You don't have to do that, but you could close the door, you could sit yourself down, you can maybe journal, or you can go for a walk and talk and just get it out of your system. Where am I being that? Where am I acting like that? Where am I being disrespectful, right? And sometimes it's not even with this person. It's I'm being disrespectful with, I don't know, my coworkers. I'm being disrespectful with someone else. And it's coming out here. And if I take upon myself or change my ways or really focus, oh, okay, this is what I need to do, then the mirror is going to stop showing me, right? It's not there anymore. And it's magic. People are like, oh my gosh. But really, it's just how God created the world. It's just, it is what it is, right? Hashem gave us the ability to use physical things that we understand to understand the spiritual world. So that was a long answer to if my parents are being disrespectful to me and to the choices I'm making and maybe to the lifestyle that I've chosen. The answer to that is work on finding where you are being disrespectful to someone else, maybe to them, maybe to someone else, about the same thing, about their choices, about their behavior, about what they've chosen to do with their life. And then suddenly you're like, oh, right. I had a person talk to me and say that he's exactly something very similar. His parents are disrespectful of what he's chosen and he wants to live in Israel and they don't want him to live in Israel and he doesn't want to talk to them anymore because it's not nice, whatever, blah, 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 right? And And then it turns out that he's upset with them that they're judging him for his choices. And then he's really upset, the mirror with them for their choices. And why can't they see things differently? And why are they this way? And it's like, just like you're allowed to choose, they're allowed to choose, and it's okay. Right. So you finally free yourself from having, trying to change them. They will free themselves from trying to change you. It's going to be great. You guys are all going to be free. It's actually not as hard as we think, because if we let it be easy, things will be easy. I guess this issue also arises when changing between hashkafot. Yes, it's so interesting because I always was very tickled by the word hashkafa, right? What's your hashkafa? Are you this or are you that? And I felt like it was so boxy. And I'm happy you brought this up, because I think that when you try to put yourself in a box or a label, what are you? And it's like, okay, I used to be this, and then I've decided to completely change my clothes. Right? You hear the joke in that, like, your clothes. That's what you changed, right? Or no, it's not really the clothes, it's the whole mentality behind it. But really, you haven't changed. You're just opening yourself up to finding what is right for you right now, or what is working better for where you are in the world. Or maybe because you're so intellectually honest, you're finding things you didn't know before, and now you have more things to work with. And so you're just growing, right? I said before, a lot of people in the beginning of their journey are trying to solidify before they stand up for it, but really, you're never going to be solid. It's like, right, I work with women in business. So in business, you're never going to have a solid business. We're all in business, and the business is always growing, and you always want it to grow more, and you're never really satisfied with where you are, and there's always more to learn, and there's always more to delegate, and there's always more to create and work, and it's never ending. So to say that, I have solidified my hashkafa, and then one day I realized, oh, I'm in the wrong hashkafa. I'm going to switch over to another hashkafa, and now I'm here. It sounds a little silly when I say it that way, right? And I do not mean to be disrespectful. What I'm trying to say is, it's less about the labels. It's less about the names and the boxes and the cubes that we've created, and more about the unity and the oneness. And I believe that there is a lot less boundaries than we actually see with our eyes, because we see a lot of limitations in this world, and that's part of the world being olam hasheker. And in reality, we all have the same common denominator. We all want to connect to God. We all want to grow. We all want to have geula. We all want the same things. We all want the same things, and we all live for the same things. And all the separations are olam hasheker that we are buying into, and we don't have to. And we don't have to. So the problem is when parents perceive your choice to be a slap in the face. Yes. And that is really important. If step one, connect to yourself, was, I don't want them to think that I am disrespecting and, leaving their way or whatever it is. I really want them to see that I am becoming my fullest self, and I am leaning into, I'm shining. I'm really where I want to be, where I need to be, where I'm on the path that aligns with their goals, right? Sometimes we say, something came up for me. I have to stop myself and say this. A lot of parents want their kids to end up exactly like them. And when that happens, I look at the parents and I say, did you end up exactly like your parents? And the answer is probably not, because we as human beings get to choose, and we actually should choose. And if you have a kid who ends up being a robot and wants to just copy paste your life onto theirs, there's a problem, right? And if you want your kids to live the things that you weren't able to get to, or if you're hoping that your kids will get, to accomplish the things that you wish for them to accomplish, there's so much pressure there, and there's a lack of understanding of what's happening with the way generations work.
We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. If you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.